sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you, but how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff 'tis made of, whereof 'tis born, I am to learn. And such a want with sadness makes of me. I have much ado to know myself.
Your mind is tossing on the ocean. There were your argosies with portly sail, like signors and rich burghers on the flood, or as it were the pageants of the sea, do overpeer the petty traffickers that curtsy to them, do them reverence as they fly by them with their woven wings.
But believe me, sir, had I such a venture forth, the better part of my affections would be with my hopes abroad.
I thank my fortunes for it. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted, nor to one place. Nor is my whole estate upon the fortune of this present year. Therefore, my merchandise makes me not sad.
Why then? You are in love.
Oh, fine. Fine.
Not in love neither. Then let us say you are sad because you are not merry. And 'twas easy for you to laugh and leap and say you are merry because you are not sad. Celeria, welcome hither. Here comes Bassanio, your noble kinsman, Graziano and Lorenzo. Fare you well. We leave you now with better company.
Tomorrow, my good lords.
Good signors both, when shall we laugh? Say when. You grow exceeding strange, must it be so?
We'll make our leisures to attend on yours.
My Lord Bassanio, since you have found Antonio, we too will leave you. But at dinner time, I pray you have in mind where we must meet.
I will not fail you.
You look not well, Signor Antonio. You have too much respect upon the world. They lose it that do buy it with much care.
I hold the world but as the world, Graziano, a stage where every man must play a part, and mine a sad one.
Let me play the fool. With mirth and laughter let old wrinkles come, and let my liver rather heat with wine than my heart cool with mortifying groans. Why should a man whose blood is warm within sit like his grandsire, cut in alabaster, sleep when he wakes, and creep into the jaundice by being peevish? I tell thee what, Antonio, I love thee, and 'tis my love that speaks. There are a sort of men whose visages do cream and mantle like a standing pond, and do a wilful stillness entertain, with purpose to be dressed in an opinion of wisdom, gravity, profound conceit, as who should say, I am Sir Oracle, and when I ope my lips, let no dog bark. Oh, my Antonio, I do know of these, that therefore only are reputed wise for saying nothing, when I am very sure if they should speak would almost damn those ears which hearing them would call their brothers fools. I'll tell thee more of this another time, but fish not with this melancholy bait for this fool gudgeon, this opinion. Come, good Lorenzo, fare you well a while. I'll end my exhortation after dinner. Huh?
Graziano speaks an infinite deal of nothing. More than any man in all Venice.
Well, tell me now, what lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you today promised to tell me of?
'Tis not unknown to you, Antonio, how much I've disabled mine estate. By something showing a more swelling port than my faint means would grant continuance. To you, Antonio, I owe the most. In money and in love, and from your love, I have a warranty to unburthen all my plots and purposes, how to get clear of all the debts I owe.
I pray you, good Bassanio, let me know it. And if it stand, as you yourself still do, within the eye of honor, be assured my purse, my person, my extremest means lie all unlocked to your occasions.
In my school days, when I had lost one shaft, I shot his fellow of the self-same flight, the self-same way, with more advised watch, to find the other fourth, and by adventuring both, I oft found both. I owe you much, and like a willful youth, that which I owe is lost. But if you please, to shoot another arrow that self-way which you did shoot the first, I do not doubt as I will watch the aim, or to find both, or bring your latter hazard back again, and thankfully rest better for the first.
You know me well, and herein spend but time to wind about my love with circumstance. And out of doubt you do me now more wrong in making question of my uttermost than if you had made waste of all I have. Then do but say to me what I should do, that in your knowledge may by me be done, and I am pressed unto it. Therefore speak.
In Belmont is a lady richly left, and she is fair, and fairer than that word of wondrous virtues. Sometimes from her eyes I did receive fair, speechless messages. Her name is Portia. Nothing undervalued to Cato's daughter, Brutus Portia. Nor is the wide world ignorant of her worth, for the four winds blow in from every coast renowned its suitors come in quest of her. Oh, my Antonio, had I but the means to hold a rival place with one of them, I have a mind presages me such thrift that I would question us be fortunate.
Thou knowst that all my fortunes are at sea. Therefore go forth. Try what my credit can in Venice do. that shall be racked even to the uttermost to furnish thee to Belmont, to fair Portia. Go presently inquire, and so will I, where money is, and I no question make to have it of my trust, or for my sake.
By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is aweary of this great world.
You would be, sweet madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. And yet, for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing.
Good sentences and well pronounced.
They would be better if well followed.
If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor men's cottages princes' palaces. I can easier teach 20 what were good to be done than be one of the 20 to follow mine own teaching. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. Oh, me, the word choose. I may neither choose who I would nor refuse who I dislike. So is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. Is it not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one nor refuse none?
Your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore the lottery that he hath devised, in the 3 chests of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses his meaning chooses you, will no doubt never be chosen by any rightly, but one who you shall rightly love. But what warmth is there in your affection towards any of these princely suitors that are already come?
I pray thee, overname them. And as thou namest them, I will describe them, and according to my description, level at my affection.
First, there is the Neapolitan prince.
Aye, that's a colt indeed, for he doth nothing but talk of his horse. And he makes it a great appropriation to his own good parts that he can shoe him himself.
Then is there the County Palatine.
He doth nothing but frown, as who should say, and you will not have me. Choose.
How like you the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew?
Very vilely in the morning when he is sober, and most vilely in the afternoon when he is drunk. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he. When he's best, he's a little worse than a man, and when he's worst, he's little better than a beast. I will do anything, Nerissa, ere I will be married to a sponge.
You need not fear, lady, the having any of these lords. They have acquainted me with their determinations, which is indeed to return to their home, and to trouble you with no more suit.
I'm glad this parcel of wooers is so reasonable, for there's not one among them but I dote on his very absence, and I pray God grant them a fair departure.
Do you not remember, lady, in your father's time, a Venetian, a scholar and a soldier, that came hither in the company of the Marquis of Montferrat?
Yes, yes, it was Bassanio. As I think so was he called.
True, madam. He, of all the men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon, was the best deserving a fair lady.
I remember him well. And I remember him worthy of thy praise. How now, what news?
The strangers seek for you, madam, to take their leave. And there is a forerunner come from the Prince of Morocco, who brings word the prince, his master, will be here tonight.
Come, Nerissa. Sarah, go before. While we shut the gate upon one wooer, another knocks at the door.
$3,000 well?
I say for 3 months.
For 3 months, well?
For the which, as I told you, Antonio shall be bound.
Antonio shall become bound. Well.
May you stead me?
Will you pleasure me, shall I? Your answer?
3,000 ducats for 3 months and Antonio bound.
Your answer to that?
Antonio is a good man.
Have you heard any imputations to the contrary?
Oh, no. My meaning in saying he's a good man is to have you understand me that he is sufficient. Yet his means are in supposition. He hath an argosy bound to Tripolis, another to the Indies, and other ventures he hath squandered abroad. But ships are but boards, sailors but men, and then there is the peril of waters, winds, and rocks. The man is notwithstanding sufficient. 3,000 ducats. I think I may take his bond.
Be assured you may.
I will be assured I may, and that I may be assured, I will bethink me. May I speak with Antonio?
If it please you to dine with us.
Yes, to smell pork. I will buy with you, sell with you, talk with you, walk with you, and so following, but I will not eat with you, drink with you, nor pray with you. What news on the Rialto? Who is he comes here?
This is Signor Antonio.
Rest you fair, good signor. Your worship was the last man in our mouths.
Shylock, albeit I neither lend nor borrow by taking nor by giving of excess, yet to supply the right wants of my friend, I'll break custom. Is he yet possessed how much you would?
Aye, 3,000 ducats.
And for 3 months?
I had forgot. 3 months, you told me so. Well then, your bond. And let me see.
Well, Shylock, shall we be beholding to you?
Signor Antonio, many a time and oft in the Rialto you have rated me about my monies and my usances. Still have I borne it with a patient shrug, for sufferance is the badge of all our tribe. You call me misbeliever, cutthroat dog, and spat upon my Jewish gabardine, and all for use of that which is mine own. Well then, it now appears you need my help. Go to then, you come to me and you say, Shylock, we would have monies. You say so. You, that did void your room upon my beard, and foot me as you spurn a stranger cur over your threshold. Monies is your suit. What should I say to you? Should I not say, hath a dog money? Is it possible a cur can lend 3,000 ducats? Or shall I bend low, and in a bondman's key, with bated breath and whispering humbleness say this? Fair sir, you spat on me on Wednesday last. You spurned me such a day. Another time you called me dog. And for these courtesies, I lend you thus much monies.
I must like to call it so again, to spet on thee again, to spurn thee too. If thou would lend this money, lend it not as to thy friends, but lend it rather to thine enemy, who if he break, thou mayst with better face exact the penalty.
Why, look you how you storm. I would be friends with you and have your love. Forget the shames that you have stained me with, supply your present wants, and take no doit of usance for my monies, and you'll not hear me. This is kind I offer.
This were kindness.
This kindness will I show. Go with me to a notary, seal me there your single bond. And in a merry sport, if you repay me not on such a day, in such a place, such sum or sums as are expressed in the condition, let the forfeit be nominated for an equal pound of your fair flesh, to be cut off and taken in what part of your body pleaseth me.
Content, i' faith. I'll seal just such a bond and say there is much kindness in the Jew.
You should not sue to such a bond for me. I'd rather dwell in my necessity.
Why, fear not, man, I'll not forfeit it. Within these 2 months, that's a month before this bond expires, I do expect return of thrice 3 times the value of this bond.
Oh, Father Abraham, what these Christians are, whose own hard dealings teaches them suspect the thoughts of others. I say to buy his favor, I extend this friendship. If he will take it, so. If not, adieu. And for my love, I pray you, wrong me not.
Yes, Shylock, I will seal unto this bond.
Then meet me forthwith at the notary's. Give him direction for this merry bond, and I will unpurse the ducats straight.
Hide thee, gentle Jew. The Hebrew will turn Christian, he grows kind.
But not fair terms in the villain's mind.
Oh, come on, in this there can be no dismay. My ships come home a month before the day.
Signor Bassanio.
Gratiano?
I have suit to you.
You have obtained it?
You must not deny me. I must go with you to Belmont.
Well, then you must. But hear thee, Gratiano, thou art too wild, too rude and bold of voice. Pray thee take pains to allay with some cold drops of modesty thy skipping spirit, lest through thy wild behavior I be misconstant in the place I go to and lose my hopes.
Signor Bassanio, hear me. If I do not put on a sober habit, talk with respect, and swear, but now and then wear prayer books in my pocket, look demurely, nay more, while grace is saying, hood mine eyes thus with my hat and sigh and say amen. Use all the observance of civility like one well studied in a sad ostend to please his grand dame. Never trust me more.
Well, we shall see your bearing. Mislike me not for my complexion, the shadowed livery of the burnished sun, to whom I am a neighbor and near bred. Bring me the fairest creature northward born, where Phoebus' fire scarce thaws the icicles, and let us make incision for your love, to prove whose blood is reddest, his or mine.
In terms of choice, I am not solely led by nice direction of a maiden's eyes. Besides, the lottery of my destiny bars me the right of voluntary choosing. But if my father had not scanted me, and hedged me by his wit to yield myself his wife, who wins me by that means I told you, yourself, renowned prince, then stood as fair as any comer I have looked on yet for my affection.
Even for that, I thank you. Therefore, I pray you lead me to the caskets to try my fortune.
You must take your chance, and either not attempt to choose at all, or swear before you choose, if you choose wrong, never to speak to lady afterward in way of marriage. Therefore be advised.
Nor will not. Come, bring me unto my chance.
Now make your choice.
How shall I know if I do choose the right?
One of them contains my picture, Prince. If you choose that, then I'm yours withal.
Some god direct my judgment. Let me see. What says this leaden casket? Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. Must give. For what? For lead? Hazard for lead? This casket threatens. What says the silver with her virgin hue? Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. As much as he deserves. Pause there, Morocco, and weigh thy value with an even hand. If thou beest rated by thy estimation, thou dost deserve enough, and yet enough may not extend as far as to the lady.
What if I stray no further but choose here? Let's see once more this saying graved in gold. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. Why, that's the lady. All the world desires her. From the four corners of the earth, they come to kiss this shrine, this mortal breathing saint. Deliver me the key, here do I choose, and thrive I as I may.
There, take it, Prince. And if my form lie there, then I'm yours.
Oh, hell. What have we here? A carrion death, within whose empty eye there is a written scroll. I'll read the writing. All that glisters is not gold. Often have you heard that told. Many a man his life hath sold, but my outside to behold. Gilded tombs do worms enfold. Had you been as wise as bold, young in limbs, in judgment old, your answer had not been inscrolled. Fare you well, your suit is cold. Cold indeed and labor lost. Then farewell heat and welcome frost. Portia, adieu. I have too grieved a heart to take a tedious leave. Thus losers part.
I'm sorry thou wilt leave my father so. Our house is hell, and thou, a merry devil, didst rob it of some taste of tediousness. But fare thee well. There is a duck up for thee. And, Lancelot, soon at supper shalt thou see Lorenzo, who is thy new master's guest. Give him this letter. Do it secretly. And so farewell. I would not have my father see me and talk with thee.
Adieu. Tears exhibit me tongue, most beautiful pagan, most sweet Jew. If a Christian do not play the knave and get thee, I am much deceived. But adieu. These foolish drops do something drown me manly spirit. Adieu.
Farewell, good Lancelot. Alack, what a heinous sin is it in me to be ashamed to be my father's child, though I am a daughter to his blood. I am not to his manners. Oh, Lorenzo, if thou keep promise, I shall end this strife, become a Christian, and thy loving wife.
Friend Lancelot, what's the news?
It shall please you to break up this, it shall seem to signify.
Another hand. In faith, 'tis a fair hand. And whiter than the paper it writ on is the fair hand that writ.
Love news, in faith.
By your leave, sir.
With the ghost, though?
Marry, sir, to bid me old master the Jew to sup tonight with me new master the Christian.
Hold. Here, take this. Tell gentle Jessica I will not fail her. Speak it privately.
Was not that letter from fair Jessica?
I must needs tell thee all. She hath directed how I shall take her from her father's house. What gold and jewels she is furnished with. What page's suit she hath in readiness. If e'er the Jew her father come to heaven, it shall be for his gentle daughter's sake. Come, go with me. Peruse this as thou goest. Fair Jessica shall be my torchbearer.
Well, thou shalt see. Thy eye shall be thy judge. The difference of old Shylock and Bassanio. What, Jessica? Thou shalt not gormandize as thou hast done with me. What, Jessica? And sleep and snore and rend apparel out Why, Jessica, I say?
Why, Jessica?
Who bids thee call? I do not bid thee call.
Your worship was wont to tell me I could do nothing without bidding.
Call you? What is your will?
And bid forth the supper, Jessica. There are my keys. But wherefore should I go? I am not bid for love. They flatter me. But yet I'll go in hate to feed upon the prodigal Christian. Jessica, my girl, look to my house. I am right loath to go.
I beseech you, sir, go. My young master doth expect your reproach.
So do I, his.
They have conspired together. I will not say you shall see a mask, but if you do, it was not for nothing that my nose fell a-bleeding on Black Monday last at 6 o'clock in the morning.
What? Other masks? Hear you me, Jessica? Lock up my doors. And when you hear the drum and the vile squealing of the wry-necked fife, clamber you not up to the casements then, but stop my house's ears. I mean my casements. Let not the sound of shallow foppery enter my sober house. By Jacob's staff, I swear I have no mind of feasting forth tonight. But I will go. Go you before me, sirrah. Say I will come.
I will go before, sir.
Mistress, look out at window for all this. There will come a Christian by, will be worth a Jewess eye.
What says that fool of Hagar's offspring? Huh?
His words were farewell, mistress. Nothing else.
Perhaps I will return immediately. Do as I bid you. Shut doors after me. Fast bind, fast find. The proverb never stale in thrifty mind.
Farewell. And if my fortune be not crossed, I have a father, you a daughter lost.
Who are you?
Lorenzo and thy love.
Lorenzo, certain. And my love indeed, for who love I so much? And now who knows but you, Lorenzo, whether I am yours?
Heaven and thy thoughts are witness that thou art.
Here, catch this casket. It is worth the pains.
Come at once. For the close night doth play the runaway, and we are stayed for Bassanio's feast.
I will make fast the doors and gild myself with some more ducats and be with you straight.
Beshrew me, but I love her heartily. For she is wise, if I can judge of her, and fair she is, if that mine eyes be true, and true she is, as she hath proved herself. And therefore, like herself, wise, fair, and true, shall she be placed in my constant soul. What, art thou come? Come, gentlemen, away. Our masking makes by this time for us stay.
Why, man, I saw Bassanio under sail. With him is Gratiana gone along, and in their ship I am sure Lorenzo is not.
The villain Jew with outcry raised the Duke who went with him to search Bassanio's ship.
He came too late. The ship was under sail. But there, the Duke was given to understand that in a gondola was seen together Lorenzo and his amorous Jessica. Besides, Antonio certified the Duke they were not with Bassanio in his ship.
I never heard a passion so confused, so strange, outrageous, and so variable as the dog Judy up in the streets. My daughter, oh, my ducats, oh, my daughter, fled with a Christian, oh, my Christian ducats. A sealed bag, 2 sealed bags of ducats, or double ducats, stolen from me by my daughter, and jewels, 2 stones, 2 rich and precious stones, stolen by my daughter. Justice, find the girl, she had the stones upon her,
and the ducats. Why all the boys in Venice follow him, crying, his stones, his daughter, and his ducats.
Let good Antonio look he keep his day. Well, he shall pay for this.
Is Mary well remembered? So I reasoned with a Frenchman yesterday who told me in the narrow seas, the part, the French and English, there miscarried a vessel of our country richly fraught. I thought upon Antonio when he told me so and wished in silence it were not his.
You were best to tell Antonio what you hear. I pray thee, let us go and find him out, and quicken his embraced heaviness with some delight or other.
Do we so?
Quick, quick. The Prince of Aragon hath ta'en his oath and comes to his election presently.
Behold, there stand the caskets, noble prince. If you choose that wherein I am contained, straight shall our nuptial rites be solemnized. But if you fail without more speech, my lord, you must be gone from hence immediately.
And so have I addressed me. Fortune now to my heart's hope. Gold, silver, and base lead. Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. And you shall look fairer ere I give or hazard. What says the golden chest? Oh, let me see. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. I will not choose what many men desire, because I will not jump with common spirits and rank me with the barbarous multitudes. Why then to thee, thou silver treasure house? Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. Well said, too. I will assume desert. Give me a key for this, and instantly unlock my fortunes here.
Too long a pause for that which you find there.
What's here? The portrait of a blinking idiot, presenting me a schedule. Some there be that shadows kiss, such have but a shadow's bliss. There be fools alive, I wis, silvered o'er, and so is this. Take what wife you will to bed, I will ever be your head. So be gone, you are sped. Still more fool I will appear, by the time I linger here. Sweet adieu. I'll keep my oath, patiently to bear my wrath.
Thus hath the candle singed the moth. Oh, these deliberate fools. When they do choose, they have the wisdom by their wit to lose.
Madam, there is alighted at your gate a young Venetian, one that comes before to signify the approaching of his lord, from whom he bringeth sensible regreets, to wit, besides commends and courteous breath, gifts of rich value. Yet I have not seen so likely an ambassador of love.
No more, I pray thee. I am half afeard thou'lt say anon he is some kin to thee, thou spend such high-day wit in praising him. Come, come, Nerissa. For I long to see quick Cupid's post that comes so mannerly.
Bassanio, Lord Love, if thy will it be.
How now, Shylock? What news among the merchants?
You knew. None so well as you of my daughter's flight. She is damned for it.
Well, that's certain if the devil may be her judge.
My own flesh and blood to rebel.
There is more difference between thy flesh and hers than between jet and ivory. But tell us, do you hear whether Antonio have had any loss at sea or no?
There I have another bad match. A bankrupt, a prodigal who dare scarce show his head on the Rialto. A beggar who was used to come so smug upon the mart. Let him look to his bond.
Well, I'm sure if he forfeit, that will not take his flesh. What's that good for?
To bait fish withal. If it will feed nothing else, it will feed my revenge. He had disgraced me and hindered me 500,000. Laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends, heated mine enemies. And what's his reason? I am a Jew. Are there Jew eyes? Are there Jew hands? Organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you in the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be? By Christian example. Why revenge? The villainy you teach me, I will execute. And it shall go hard. But I will better the instruction. How now, Tubal? What news from Genoa? Hast thou found my daughter?
I often came where I did hear of her, but cannot find her.
The curse never fell upon our nation till now. I never felt it till now. I would my daughter were dead at my foot and the jewels in her ear. Would she were hearsed at my foot and the ducats in her coffin. No news of them. Why so?
Other men have ill luck too. Antonio, as I heard in Genoa...
What? Ill luck? Ill luck?
Hath an argosy cast away coming from Tripolis.
I thank God. I thank God. Is it true? Is it true?
I spoke with some of the sailors that escaped the wreck.
I thank thee, good Tubal. Good news. Good news.
Your daughter spent in Genoa, as I heard one night, 80 ducats.
80 ducats at a sitting? 80 ducats?
There came divers of Antonio's creditors in my company to Venice that swear he cannot choose but break.
I'm very glad of it. I'll plague him. I'll torture him. I'm glad of it.
One of them showed me a ring that he had of your daughter for a monkey.
Out upon her! Thou torturest me, Tubal. It was my turquoise. I had it of Lear when I was a bachelor. I would not have given it for a wilderness of monkeys.
But Antonio is certainly undone.
Nay, that's true. That's very true.
I pray you tarry. Pause a day or two before you hazard, for in choosing wrong, I lose your company. I could teach you how to choose right, but then I am forsworn, so will I never be. Beshrew your eyes. They have o'erlooked me and divided me. One half of me is yours, the other half yours. Mine own, I would say, but if mine, then yours, and so all yours. I speak too long, but 'tis to appease the time, to eke it and to draw it out in length, to stay you from election.
Let me choose, for as I am, I live.
On the rack, Bassanio, then confess what treason there is mingled with your love.
None but that ugly treason of mistrust, which makes me fear the enjoying of my love. There may as well be amity and life between snow and fire as treason and my love.
Aye, but I fear you speak upon the rack, where men enforced do speak anything.
Promise me life, and I'll confess the truth.
Well, then, confess and live.
Confess and love had been the very sum of my confession. Oh, happy torment when my torturer doth teach me answers for deliverance. But let me to my fortune and the caskets.
Away, then. I am locked in one of them. If you do love me, you will find me out. Live thou, I live. With much, much more dismay, I view the fight than thou that makes the fray.
So may the outward shows be least themselves. The world is still deceived with ornament. Thus ornament is but the guiled shore to a most dangerous sea. The beauteous scarf veiling an Indian beauty. In a word, the seeming truth, which cunning times put on to entrap the wisest. Therefore, thou gaudy gold, hard food for Midas, I will none of thee. Nor none of thee, thou pale and common drudge between man and man. But thou meagre lead, which rather threatens than does promise aught. Thy paleness moves me more than eloquence, and here choose I, joy be the consequence.
How all the other passions fleet to air. As doubtful thoughts, and rash embrace despair, and shuddering fear, and green-eyed jealousy. Oh, love, be moderate, allay thy ecstasy. In measure reign thy joy, scant this excess. I fear too much thy blessing, make it less. For fear I serve it.
What find I here? You that choose not by the view, chance as fair and choose as true. Since thy fortune fall to you, be content and seek no new. If you be well pleased with this, and hold your fortune for your bliss, turn you where your lady is, and claim her with a loving kiss. A gentle scroll, fair lady. By your leave I come by notes to give and to receive, like one of two contending in a prize that thinks he hath done well in people's eyes. Hearing applause and universal shout, giddy in spirit, still gazing in a doubt whether those pearls of praise be his or no. So thrice, fair lady, stand I, even so, as doubtful whether what I see be true, until confirmed, signed, ratified by you.
You see me, Lord Bassanio, where I stand, such as I am. Myself and what is mine to you and yours is now converted. But now I was the lord of this fair mansion, master of my servants, queen, or myself. And even now, but now, this house, these servants, and this same myself are yours, my lords. I give them with this ring, which when you part from, lose, or give away, let it presage the ruin of your love, and be my vantage to exclaim on you.
You have bereft me of all words. Only my blood speaks to you in my veins. And there is such confusion in my powers, as after some oration fairly spoke by a beloved prince, that doth appear among the buzzing pleased multitude, where every something being blent together turns to a wild of nothing, save of joy, expressed but not expressed. But when this ring parts from this finger, then parts life from hence, I'll then be bold to say Bassanio's dead.
My lord and lady, it is now our time that have stood by and seen our wishes prosper to cry good joy. Good joy, my lord and lady.
My lord and lady. My lord Bassanio, and my gentle lady, I wish you all the joy that you can wish, for I'm sure you can wish none from me. And when your honors mean to solemnize the bargain of your faith, I do beseech you, even at that time, I may be married too.
With all my heart, so thou canst get a wife.
I thank your lordship. You have got me one. My eyes, my lord, can look as swift as yours. You saw the mistress. I beheld the maid. You loved. I loved. For intermission, no more pertains to me, my lord, than you. Your fortune stood upon the caskets there, and so did mine too, as the matter falls. With oaths of love, at last, if promise last, I got a promise of this fair one here to have her love, provided that your fortune achieved her mistress.
Is this true, Nerissa?
Madam, it is. So you stand pleased with all.
And do you, Gratiano, mean good faith?
Yes, faith, my lord.
Our feast shall be much honored in your marriage.
But who comes here? Lorenzo and his infidel. What? And my old Venetian friend, Salerio.
Lorenzo and Salerio, welcome hither.
Thank you, Ronette. For my part, my lord, my purpose was not to have seen you here. But meeting with Salerio on the way, he did entreat me, past all saying nay, to come with him along.
I did, my lord, and have reason for it. Signor Antonio commends him to you.
Ere I ope his letter, I pray you tell me how my good friend doth.
Not sick, my lord, unless it be in mind, nor well, unless in mind. His letter there will show you his estate.
Nerissa, cheer yon stranger, bid her welcome. Your hand, Salerio. What's the news from Venice? How doth that royal merchant, good Antonio? I know he will be glad of our success. We are the Jasons. We have won the fleece.
I would you had won the fleece that he hath lost.
There are some shrewd contents in yon same paper that steals the colour from Bassanio's cheek. Some dear friend dead, else nothing in the world could turn so much the constitution of any constant man. What, worse and worse? With leave, Bassanio, I am half yourself, and I must freely have the half of anything that this same paper brings you.
Gentle lady, when I did first impart my love to you, I freely told you all the wealth I had ran in my veins. And yet, dear lady, rating myself at nothing, you shall see how much I was a braggart. Indeed, I have engaged myself to a dear friend. Engaged my friend to his mere enemy. To feed my means. Here is a letter, lady. The paper is the body of my friend, and every word in it a gaping wound issuing life blood. But is it true, Salerio? Hath all his ventures failed? What, not one hit?
Not one, my lord. Besides, it should appear that if he had the present money to discharge the Jew, he would not take it. He plies the Duke at morning and at night, and doth impeach the freedom of the state if they deny him justice. 20 merchants, the Duke himself, and the magnificos of greatest port have all persuaded with him, but none can drive him from the envious plea of forfeiture of justice and his bond.
What sum owes he the Jew?
For me, 3,000 ducats.
What, no more? Pay him 6,000 and deface the bond. Double 6,000 and then treble that before a friend of this description shall lose a hair through Bassanio's fault. First, go with me to church and call me wife, and then away to Venice to your friend, for never shall you lie by Portia's side with an unquiet soul. You shall have gold to pay the petty debt 20 times over. Come away, for you shall hence upon your wedding day. Bid your friends welcome, show a merry cheer. Since you are dear bought, I will love you, dear.
Since I have your good leave to go away, I will make haste. But till I come again, no bed shall e'er be guilty of my stay, no rest be interposer twixt us twain.
Come on, Nerissa. I have work in hand that you yet know not of. We'll see our husbands before they think of us.
Antonio, I am sorry for thee. Thou art come to answer a stony adversary, an inhuman wretch, incapable of pity, void and empty from any dram of mercy.
I have heard your grace hath ta'en great pains to qualify his rigorous course, but since he stands obdurate, and that no lawful means can carry me out of his envious reach, I do oppose my patience to his fury, and am armed to suffer with a quietness of spirit the very tyranny and rage of his.
Go on. Call the Jew into the court.
He is ready at the door. He comes, my lord.
Shylock, the world thinks, and I think so too, that thou but leadst this fashion of thy malice to the last hour of act, and then 'tis thought thou'lt show thy mercy and remorse more strange than is thy strange apparent cruelty. And where thou now exacts the penalty, which is a pound of this poor merchant's flesh, thou wilt not only loose the forfeiture, but touched with human gentleness and love, forgive a moiety of the principal. Now we all expect a gentle answer due.
I have possessed your grace of what I purpose, and by our holy Sabbath have I sworn to have the due and forfeit of my bond. If you deny it, let the danger light upon your charter and your city's freedom.
How shalt thou hope for mercy, rendering none?
What judgment shall I dread doing no wrong? You have among you many a purchased slave, which, like your asses and your dogs and mules, you use in abject and in slavish parts, because you bought them. Shall I say to you, let them be free? Marry them to your heirs? Why sweat they under burthens? Let their beds be made as soft as yours, and let their pallets be seasoned with such viands. You will answer, the slaves are ours. So do I answer you. The pound of flesh which I demand of him is dearly bought. 'Tis mine, and I will have it. If you deny me, fie upon your laws. There is no force in the decrees of Venice. I stand for judgment. Answer. Shall I have it?
Upon my power, I may dismiss this court. Unless Bellario, a learned doctor, whom I have sent for to determine this, come here today.
My lord, he stays without a messenger with letters from the doctor, and you come from Padua.
Bring us the letters. Call the messenger.
Good cheer, Antonio. What man? Courage yet. That you shall have my flesh, blood, bones, and all. Ere thou shalt lose for me one drop of blood.
I am a tainted wether of the flock, meetest for death. The weakest kind of fruit drops earliest to the ground, and so let me. You cannot better be employed, Bassanio, than to live still and write mine epitaph.
Came you from Padua, from Bellario?
From both, my lord. Bellario greets your grace.
Your grace shall understand that at the receipt of your letter, I am very sick. But in the instant that your messenger came, in loving visitation was with me a young doctor of Rome. His name is Balthazar. I acquainted him with the cause in controversy between the Jew and Antonio the merchant. He is furnished with my opinion, which, bettered with his own learning, the greatness whereof I cannot enough commend, comes with him at my importunity to fill up your grace's request in my stead. I leave him to your gracious acceptance, whose trial shall better publish his commendation. And you hear the learned Bellario what he writes. And here, I take it, is the doctor come. You're welcome. Take your place. Are you acquainted with the difference that holds this present question in the court?
I am informed thoroughly of the cause. Is your name Shylock?
Shylock is my name.
Of a strange nature is the suit you follow. Yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. You stand within his danger, do you not?
Aye, so he says.
Do you confess the bond?
I do.
Then must the Jew be merciful?
On what compulsion must I? Tell me that.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. It is mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice, none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy. And that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which if thou follow, this strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
My deeds upon my head. I crave the law, the penalty and forfeit of my bond.
Is he not able to discharge the money?
Yes, here I tender it for him in the court, yea, twice the sum. If that will not suffice, I will be bound to pay it 10 times o'er on forfeit of my hands, my head, my heart. If this will not suffice, it must appear that malice bears down truth. And I beseech you, rest once the law to your authority. To do a great right, do a little wrong, and curb this cruel devil of his will.
It must not be. There is no power in Venice can alter a decree established. 'Twill be recorded for a precedent, and many an error by the same example will rush into the state. It cannot be.
A Daniel come to judgment, yea, a Daniel. Oh, wise young judge, how I do honor thee.
I pray you, let me look upon the bond.
Here it is, most reverend doctor, here it is.
Shylock, there's thrice thy money offered thee.
An oath. An oath. I have an oath in heaven. Shall I lay perjury upon my soul? No. Not for Venice.
Why, this bond is forfeit. And lawfully by this the Jew may claim a pound of flesh to be by him cut off nearest the merchant's heart. Be merciful. Take thrice thy money. Bid me tear the bond.
When it is paid, according to the tenor. By my soul, I swear there is no power in the tongue of man to alter thee. I stay here on my bond.
Most heartily I do beseech the court to give the judgment.
Why then, thus it is. You must prepare your bosom for his knife.
Oh, noble judge. Oh, excellent young man.
The intent and purpose of the law hath full relation to the penalty which here appeareth due upon the bond.
'Tis very true, O wise and upright judge. How much more elder art thou than thy looks?
Therefore lay bare your bosom.
Aye, his breast. So says the bond. Doth it not, noble judge, nearest his heart? Those are the very words.
It is so. Are there balance here to weigh the flesh?
I have them ready.
Have by some surgeon Shylock on your charge, to stop his wounds, lest he do bleed to death.
Is it so nominated in the bond?
It is not so expressed, but what of that? 'Twere good you do so much for charity.
I cannot find it. 'Tis not in the bond.
You, merchant, have you anything to say?
But little. I am armed and well prepared. Give me your hand, Bassanio. Fare you well. Grieve not that I am fawn to this for you. Commend me to your honorable wife. Tell her the process of Antonio's end. Say how I loved you. Speak me fair in death. And when the tale is told, bid her be judge whether Bassanio had not once a love.
Antonio, I am married to a wife which is as dear to me as life itself. But life itself, my wife and all the world, are not with me esteemed above thy life. I would lose all, I sacrifice them all, here to this devil, to deliver you.
Your wife would give you little thanks for that, if she were by to hear you make the offer.
These be the Christian husbands. I have a daughter. Would any of the stock of Barabbas have been her husband rather than a Christian? We trifle time. I pray thee, pursue sentence.
A pound of that same merchant's flesh is thine. The court awards it, and the law doth give it.
Most rightful judge.
And you must cut this flesh from off his breast. The law allows it, and the court awards it.
A sentence. Come. Prepare.
There is something else. This bond doth give thee here no jot of blood. Well, the words expressly are, a pound of flesh. Take then thy bond. Take thou thy pound of flesh, but in the cutting it, if thou dost shed one drop of Christian blood, thy lands and goods are, by the laws of Venice, confiscate unto the state of Venice.
Oh, right. Judge, mocked you, oh learned judge.
Is that the law?
Thyself shall see the act. For as thou urgest justice, be assured, thou shalt have justice, more than thou desirest.
Oh, learned judge, mocked you, a learned judge.
I take this offer, then. Pay the bond thrice, and let the Christian go.
Here's the money.
Soft! The Jew shall have all justice, soft, no haste. He shall have nothing but the penalty.
Oh, Jew, an upright judge, a learned judge, eh?
Therefore prepare thee to cut off the flesh. Shed thou no blood, nor cut thou less no more, but just a pound of flesh. If thou takes more or less than a just pound, be it but so much as makes it light or heavy in the substance, or the division of the 20th part of one poor scruple. Nay, if the scale do turn, but in the estimation of a hair, thou diest, and all thy goods are confiscate.
Oh, second, Daniel, Jew. Now, infidel, I have you on the hips.
Why doth the Jew pause? Take thy forfeiture.
Give me my principal, and let me go.
I have it ready for thee. Here it is.
He hath refused it in the open court. He shall have merely justice and his bond.
Oh, Daniel, still say I second Daniel. I thank thee, Jew, for teaching me that word.
Shall I not have barely my principal?
Thou shalt have nothing but the forfeiture to be so taken at thy peril, Jew.
Why, then the devil give him good of it. I'll stay no longer questioned.
Tarry, Jew. The law hath yet another hold on you. It is enacted in the laws of Venice. If it be proved against an alien that by direct or indirect attempts he seek the life of any citizen, the party against the which he doth contrive shall seize one half his goods. The other half comes to the privy coffer of the state, and the offender's life lies in the mercy of the Duke only, against all other voice. In which predicament I say thou standst. For it appears by manifest proceeding that indirectly, and directly too, thou hast contrived against the very life of the defendant, and thou hast incurred the danger formerly by me rehearsed. Down, therefore, and beg mercy of the Duke.
That thou shalt see the difference of our spirit. I pardon thee thy life before thou ask it. For half thy wealth, it is Antonio's. The other half comes to the general state, which humbleness may drive unto a fine.
Aye, for the state, not for Antonio.
Nay, take my life and all, pardon not that. You take my house when you do take the prop that does sustain my house. You take my life when you do take the means whereby I live.
What mercy can you render him, Antonio?
So please my lord the Duke and all the court to quit the fine for one half his goods, I am content. So he will let me have the other half in use to render it upon his death unto the gentleman that lately stole his daughter. 2 things provided more. That for this favor he presently become a Christian. The other, that he do record a gift here in the court of all he dies possessed unto his son Lorenzo and his daughter.
He shall do this, or else I do recant the pardon that I late pronounced here.
Art thou contented, Jew? What dost thou say?
I am content.
Clerk, draw a deed of gift.
I pray you give me leave to go from hence. I am not well. Send the deed after me, and I will sign it.
Get thee gone. But do it. Sir, I entreat you home with me to dinner.
I humbly do desire your grace of pardon. I must away this night toward Padua, and it is meet I presently set forth.
I'm sorry that your leisure serves you not. Antonio, gratify this gentleman, for in my mind, you are much bound to him.
Most worthy gentlemen, I and my friend have by your wisdom been this day acquitted of grievous penalties, in lieu whereof 3,000 ducats due unto the Jew we freely cope your courteous pains withal.
And stand indebted over and above, in love and service to you evermore.
He is well paid that is well satisfied, and I, delivering you, am satisfied, and therein do account myself well paid. My mind was never yet more mercenary. I pray you know me when we meet again. I wish you well, and so I take my leave.
But, sir, of course, I must attempt you further. Take some remembrance of us as a tribute, not as a fee. Grant me two things, I pray you, not to deny me, and to pardon me.
You press me far, and therefore I will yield. Give me your gloves. I'll wear them for your sake. And for your love, I'll take this ring from you. Do not draw back your hand, I'll take no more. And you in love shall not deny me this.
Good sir, alas, this ring, it is a trifle. I will not shame myself to give you this.
I will have nothing else but only this. And now methinks I have a mind to it.
Well, this more depends on this than on the value. The dearest ring in Venice will I give you, and find it out by proclamation. Only for this, I pray you pardon me.
I see, sir, you are liberal in offers. You taught me first to beg, and now methinks you teach me how a beggar should be answered.
Good sir, this ring was given me by my wife. And when she put it on, she made me vow that I should neither sell, nor give, nor lose it.
That excuse serves many men to save their gifts. And if your wife be not a mad woman, I know how well I have deserved this ring. She would not hold out enemy forever for giving it to me. Well, peace be with you.
My Lord Bassanio, let him have the ring. Let his deserving and my love withal be valued against your wife's commandment.
Go, Gratiano. Run and overtake him. Give him the ring and bring him, if thou canst, to Antonio's house. Away, make haste.
Inquire the Jew's house out. Give him this deed and let him sign it. We'll away tonight and be a day before our husband's home.
Fair sir, you are well o'ertaken. My Lord Bassanio, upon more advice, hath sent you here this ring, and doth entreat your company at dinner.
That cannot be. His ring I do accept most thankfully. And so I pray you tell him. Furthermore, I pray you show my youth old Shylock's house.
That will I do.
Sir, I would speak with you. I'll see if I can get my husband's ring, which I did make him swear to keep forever.
Thou mayest, I warrant. We shall have old swearing that they did give their rings away to men. But we'll outface them and outswear them too. Away, make haste, thou knowst where I will tarry.
Come, good sir. Will you show me to this house?
Shines bright in such a night as this, when the sweet wind did gently kiss the trees and they did make no noise. In such a night, Troilus, methinks, mounted the Trojan walls and sighed his soul toward the Grecian tents where Cressid lay that night.
In such a night, did Thisbe fearfully o'er trip the dew, and saw the lion's shadow ere himself, and ran dismayed away.
In such a night stood Dido, with a willow in her hand, upon the wild sea banks, and waft her love to come again to Carthage.
In such a night, Medea gathered the enchanted herbs that did renew all day song.
In such a night did Jessica steal from the wealthy Jew, and with an unthrift love did run from Venice as far as Belmont.
In such a night, did young Lorenzo swear he loved her well, stealing her soul with many vows of faith, and ne'er a true one?
In such a night did pretty Jessica, like a little shrew, slander her love. And he forgave it her.
That light we see is burning in my hall. How far that little candle throws his beams. So shines a good deed in a naughty world.
When the moon shone, we did not see the candle.
So doth the greater glory dim the less. A substitute shines brightly as a king until a king be by, and then his state empties itself, as doth an inland brook into the main of waters.
That is the voice, or I'm much deceived, of Portia.
He knows me as the blind man knows the cuckoo, by the bad voice.
Dear lady, welcome home.
We have been praying for our husband's welfare, which speed we hope the better for our words. Are they returned?
Madam, they are not yet.
Go in, Nerissa. Give order to my servants that they take no note at all of our being absent hence. Nor you, Lorenzo, Jessica, nor you.
We are no telltales, madam. Fear you not.
Welcome home, my lord.
Thank you, madam. Give welcome to my friend. This is the man. This is Antonio, to whom I am so infinitely bound.
You should in all sense be much bound to him. For as I hear, he was much bound for you.
No more than I am well acquitted of.
Sir, you're very welcome to our house. Must appear in other ways than words, therefore I scant this breathing courtesy.
By yonder moon, I swear you do me wrong. In faith, I gave it to the judge's clerk. Would he were Gelt that had it for my part, since you do take it, love, so much at heart?
A quarrel, ho, already? What's the matter?
About a hoop of gold, a paltry ring that she did give me, whose posy was, for all the world, like cutler's poetry upon a knife. Love me and leave me not.
What talk you of the posy or the value? You swore to me when I did give it you that you would wear it till your hour of death, and that it should lie with you in your grave. Gave it a judge's clerk. No, God's my judge, the clerk will ne'er wear hair on's face that had it.
He will, and if he live to be a man.
Aye, if a woman lived to be a man.
Now, by this hand, I gave it to a youth, a kind of boy, a little scrubbed boy, no higher than thyself, the judge's clerk.
You were to blame. I must be plain with you to part so slightly with your wife's first gift. A thing stuck on with oaths upon your finger and so riveted with faith unto your flesh. I gave my love a ring and made him swear never to part with it, and here he stands. I dare be sworn for him he would not leave it, nor pluck it from his finger for the wealth that the world masters. Now, in faith, Gratiano, you give your wife too unkind a cause of grief, and 'twere to me, I should be mad at it.
I am best to cut my left hand off and swear I lost the ring defending it.
My lord Bassanio gave his ring away unto the judge that begged it, and indeed deserved it too. And then the boy, his clerk, that took some pains in writing, he begged mine, and neither man nor master would take aught but the 2 rings.
What ring gave you, my lord? Not that, I hope, which you received of me.
If I could add a lie unto a fault, then I would deny it. But you see, my finger hath not the ring upon it. It is gone.
Even so void is your false heart of truth. By heaven, I will ne'er come in your bed until I see the ring.
Nor I in yours till I again see mine.
Sweet Portia, if you did know to whom I gave the ring, if you did know for whom I gave the ring, and could conceive for what I gave the ring, and how unwillingly I left the ring, when naught would be accepted but the ring, you would abate the strength of your displeasure.
If you had known the virtue of the ring, or half her worthiness that gave the ring, or your own honor to contain the ring, you would not then have parted with the ring. Nerissa teaches me what to believe. I'll die for it, but some woman had the ring.
No, by my honor, madam, by my soul, no woman had it but a civil doctor, which did refuse 3,000 ducats of me, and begged the ring, the which I did deny him, and suffered him to go displeased away. Even he that had held up the very life of my dear friend. What should I say, sweet lady? I was enforced to send it after him. Had you been there, I think you would have begged the ring of me to give the worthy doctor.
Let not that doctor e'er come near my house. Since he hath got the jewel that I loved, and that which you did swear to keep for me, I will become as liberal as you. I'll not deny him anything I have, no, not my body, nor my husband's bed. Now, by mine honour, which is yet mine own, I'll have that doctor for my bedfellow.
And I, his clerk. Therefore be well advised how you do leave me to mine own protection.
Well, do you so? Let not me take him then, for if I do, I'll mar that young clerk's pen.
I am the unhappy subject of these quarrels.
Sir, grieve not you. You are welcome notwithstanding.
Pardon this fault. And by my soul, I swear I never more will break an oath with thee.
I once did lend my body for his wealth, which, but for him that had your husband's ring, had quite miscarried. I dare be sworn again, my soul upon the forfeit, that your lord will never more break faith advisedly.
Then you shall be his surety. Give him this, and bid him keep it better than the other.
Here, Lord Bassanio, swear to keep this ring.
By heaven. It is the same I gave the doctor.
Pardon me, Bassanio, for by this ring, the doctor lay with me.
And pardon me, gentle Gratiano, for that same scrubbed boy, the doctor's clerk, in lieu of this, last night did lie with me.
What? Are we cuckolds ere we have deserved it?
Speak not so grossly. You're all amazed. Here is a letter. Read it at your leisure. It comes from Padua, from Bellario. There you shall find that Portia was the doctor. Nerissa here, her clerk. Well, Lorenzo there shall witness I set forth as soon as you, and even but now returned. Antonio, you are welcome. And I have better news in store for you than you expect. Unseal this letter soon. There you shall find 3 of your argosies are richly come to harbour suddenly.
I am done.
Were you the doctor? And I knew you not.
Were you the clerk that is to make me cuckold?
Aye, but the clerk that never means to do it, unless he live until he be a man.
You shall be my bedfellow. When I am absent, then lie with my wife.
Sweet lady, you have given me life and living. For here I read for certain that my ships are safely come to road.
How now, Lorenzo? My clerk hath some good comforts too for you.
Aye, and I'll give them him without a fee. There do I give to you and Jessica, from the rich Jew, a special deed of gift, after his death, of all he dies possessed of.
Fair ladies, you drop manna in the way of starved people.
It is almost morning. And yet I'm sure you are not satisfied of these events at full. Let us go in and charge us there upon interrogatories, and we will answer all things faithfully.
Let it be so. Well, while I live, I'll fear no other thing so sore as keeping safe Nerissa's ring.
We hope you've enjoyed The Merchant of Venice. In a moment, a look at our special presentation, 9:30 next Saturday night on ABC.